I've just been sitting here thinking, if you think about this whole conversation, you could just about frame it in trust the process.
Absolutely.
Because it all starts with an idea. And when I walked into Island Crystal and Beads the first time with my book, and Christian was there, and I held it up and I said, "Here it is." He got the biggest smile on his face, and he just, like, he could hardly stand himself. He encouraged me so much. I mean, I love this.
He was like the proud
But he said,
uncle.
he's like, think about it. He said, it was an idea. Now you've got a. It was an idea. Now you've got a book. But then you have to act on that. Whatever that next step is, what's the next step? Well, it might be writing the first line. It might be writing your title. Just write it down. Whatever that means, but start. There is a process. Mary's might look a little bit different than mine, and Yvonne's might look a little bit different than Mary's, but start. Do it. Take the leap.
Message.
And this just warms my heart so much. My connection with Dale led me to the both of you. I will never forget the day that I met her at the Authors for Authors event. She came up and she just looked at me. And she said, "Hi, I'm Dar, and my ex-husband told me I need to come see you." I'm like, "What? What? And Gwendolyn just said, "My connection to Yvonne Mason brought me to all y'all." But before we met at this event as absolute strangers, and we were hugging before it was over with. And then she popped up at another event where Yvonne was. And that's when she said, "I have an idea for a book. What do you think about this?" And we said, "Run with it. Go with it." And she...
Go ahead, Mary.
She was talking about the slouch on the couch, and the next thing I know, we've got the real gift. Because she had these two ideas running at the same time, and they were literally ideas. Just an idea. And we gave her permission to allow herself to actually write the book.
Yeah.
Now she's got another one about boxes. I can't wait for her to finish that. It's exciting.
Part of my process was after I got to know Mary, and we were friends on Facebook, and then it wasn't too long I became a board member for Be Unique with her. Anytime she would post that she was going to be somewhere with her books, I would show up.
Yes, sir.
Because I wanted to hang out. I wanted to hang out in that author's atmosphere. I wanted to get around that. Wherever Mary was at, I would show up. And I'll never forget, up on Aurora Road, Mary, you were there that one.
Yeah.
And Ananda was with you, and Trilby was with you.
Yeah.
I think it's Trilby, right?
Trilby,
so I just thought, well,
Trilby is also an author, but she's one of those authors that isn't ready to get out of her own way yet.
So I thought, I'll swing in for 10, 15 minutes, and
you don't do anything for 10 or 15 minutes.
So at 3 hours later, and we never missed a beat, it was just, and so then it started to rain, and that's what ended the conversation.
That's the only
because
thing
it was an outside event.
But everybody worked together to push everything together and get it out of the rain. That was working.
Yeah, so that's part of trusting the process. You get those little nudges. So many times it's just a nudge, and it's so subtle, but go with it, act on it, and you'll be amazed at what you get.
Well, before we close, because I'm going to my last bowling game today, the thing is, if they're passing the two children's books around to Aunt Josie and Uncle Sue and Cousin 3 times removed, and they come back with 15 gazillion changes, I'm going to probably tell them, then you probably need to go someplace else.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea in the contract was you trust the process. And don't listen to other. I am the expert. I've been out here forever and a day. Those that can do, those that can't, are the little saboteur that tries to destroy your dream.